there are some customs that are very enjoyable.
Let's not get all riled up about this.
An occasional drink never hurt anyone.
Come on, fill up.
A drink in the evening is just about the best thing I know of.
So with that being said,
Cheers, brother. Hey, buddy.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm really good. I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, I'm great. Another day, another beer. It's going to be a good day, and I've been looking forward to this one all day. I've got to say, I know I say that pretty much every time, but it's certainly still true this time.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be one day where you're like, oh, really?
Do I have to? I don't think there is.
You want to drink?
That day is when we decide to review Corona, the disease, not even the beer.
The different types of vaccine that you can get.
Yeah, the different type of Corona you can drink. Yeah. So, with that being said, please give me some good news about what's on the menu today.
Now, very, very interesting beer today. So interesting, the dog's gone absolutely mental. Did I say at some point, if anybody wants a tiny little, he's really, really cute, little fluffy black dog, honestly, Pepe, really just superb. Absolutely superb. Cannot fault it.
The episode where Ant tries to sell his dog again.
Hey, look, there's no sale.
There's going to be an episode where you don't try to sell your dog.
There's no sale. He's free. He's absolutely free. He's
right.
Free. The quickest person who can come again. I'll deliver. Like I said, worldwide. We're going to go worldwide
now for a free dog.
Yeah,
his name is Pepe.
I'll pay you. Just a very, very reasonable amount.
You can a beer or two.
Just whatever you want. Wherever you are. Tiny little dog.
It's the beauty of the Zoom podcasts, right?
Totally.
You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to occur in the background.
I fully empathise with anybody who currently is doing homeschooling. We don't have children. We have a very, very annoying little dog. There we go.
Before the dog rudely interrupted, you were saying it's a very exciting brewery.
So I live near to Poole, near to Bournemouth on the south coast. And this came onto my radar actually through a friend of mine who likes to drop me off the odd can of beer now and then, knows that it's a thing that I enjoy. And he brought me round a can of Nightlife. Didn't know anything about the brewery, never heard anything about them at all. From the looks of the can, it was local. Tried it, absolutely fantastic. So if you're ever down on the south coast, near the south coast, there's a chap here called GLEN. He is the owner, operator, manager, director.
Shout out to Glenn.
Every single part of the Nightlife Brewery. Superb guy, the nicest guy. And it just happens that he brews the best beer as well. So today, to pop your Nightlife cherry, I've got their chocolate pudding porter.
Oh, you know how I feel about anything with the word chocolate, pudding, and porter in it. I'm already sold, and I haven't even tried it yet.
Yeah, I might have kind of played a little bit to your weaknesses here as a strength.
This is not a fair way of easing me into a brewery because you're setting the bar incredibly high straight from the get-go.
Gregory, life isn't fair sometimes. Let's just roll with the punches, okay?
Hey, listen,
I have had this beer a few times. Not going to lie.
Okay.
Every single time I've had it, I feel exactly the same way about it.
Amazing. Don't tell me how you feel about it. I'm kind of getting the gist based on your face and the way that you're saying this. However, don't give me any review. I'm just gonna try it. I did have a little sneak peek on Untapped, a little sneak peek, and it's got sub 100 reviews, so it's obviously pretty exclusive at the moment, and it is scoring 4.26, which anyone that's using that app knows that's a crazy high score for a beer, and I am rather excited to try this one. I can say.
Would we take crazy high? Let's find out.
I'll just go and crack my can.
So it pours very, very light. You'd expect that from a porter. It's not too thick. See some clarity through it. It's a very, very dark brown.
Oh.
I'm just waiting.
Never a frown when you drink dark brown.
That's something that somebody said at some point, I'm sure.
Me, right now. Oh. All right, let me... Cheers, brother. Where are my manners?
Cheers, brother.
I'm too excited to cheers. Oh. Oh.
So I'm just waiting with nervous anticipation.
Glenn, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If I ever get the chance to meet you, you're getting a big hug for giving me this big hug right now. This is something else.
Oh, that's praise indeed. For those who don't know, Greg is a huge, huge fan of porters. Probably more so than any other style of beer. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's all situational. You know, there's different beers for different times, different occasions. Would I drink a porter during a concert? Probably not. At the moment, it's a bit chilly. Coldish night. Is a porter the best thing you can drink in those circumstances? Definitely. Is this the porter I want to drink during those circumstances? Definitely. It's rich. The coffee's coming through. The chocolate. It's just it's deep and it's balanced. It's not overly boozy. It's really smooth. It's really well balanced. It's a really well put together beer. So, guys at Nightlife, or Glenn, you said, right? He's the main man. Glenn, I commend you, because that's a really good beer, mate. That is a really good beer.
And now a word from the brewer.
How you doing, guys? It's Glenn from Nightlife Brewing. Just want to say thanks so much for reviewing one of our beers, our Heaven's Whisper, our chocolate pudding porter. It's got copious amounts of Madagascar vanilla beans in it, some lactose, and a fair amount of organic cacao powder, nibs. It's super smooth. It's just a very smooth, delightful beer. It's no big frills. It's just good, sweet tasting, solid porter. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Hopefully may see you soon for another review. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Now back to the show.
Yeah, I mean, what struck me about
Caramel. Yeah, I mean, it's all there. It's all there.
What struck me about this one particularly was that it's not too for like a. When you think chocolate pudding, you definitely do get chocolate. You definitely do get that sweetness. You definitely do get pudding, but it's not sickly. It's not overly sweet. It's got quite a sort of bitter bite of dark chocolate to it.
Yeah.
And that is the quintessential thing for me. The difference between a porter and a stout.
Yeah.
Is that it shouldn't be too rich. It shouldn't be too bold. It should be subtle, delicate, really, really nice. And a lot of the time when you're putting in flavors like, chocolate, you might have used a little bit of lactose, things like this. I'm not entirely sure, but you get that creaminess, but it's soft and it's delicate. You get the chocolate, but it's soft, it's delicate, and it's light. And when you finish your mouthful, it sort of dissipates fairly quickly. which
Yeah.
if you were drinking a 7, 8, 9, 10% stout, that might disappoint.
Yeah.
From a really, really, really good quality porter like this, that's exactly what you want.
It's exactly what you want.
It's an area where people go maybe a little bit wrong because they're trying to get too much flavour and they're trying to get too much oomph. And, porter should be...
I think it comes from the culture of like everyone trying to pack out IPAs. And so craft beer has kind of been associated with these packed out, everything has to be super big, super bold, super strong. Even with the dark beers, everyone's putting like marshmallow, salted caramel. And don't get me wrong, I love that. But a kind of more traditional porter, I love when you get a dark chocolate, you get some coffee notes, it's smooth sailing through the sip. You get a little bit of fizziness on the kind of high notes, and then it's really smooth at the finish, and it's not kind of making you squint and then try to figure out what you're tasting. You taste it all. It's a big punch in the beginning, and then as the sip kind of fades, you get all the flavors. I'm not saying it's basic, but it's not got any of the extra frills that you don't need. It's just got everything that you want.
Really good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. It is it's a really interesting beer, but without any hype, pretense, jazz, frills. It is, for me. I mean, I know I said I wasn't going to sort of say much because I'm obviously, I've had it a few times, but why not? It's a great, great beer. It's a great beer. I was really, really impressed the first time I tried this. And just as impressed today. I gave it a 4.5 on Untapped. Straight away from the first sip to the last sip of the glass, I was like, it absolutely is. And, I still stand by that every time I've had it. You sort of have this thing in your mind of, is it as good as I remember? Is it as good as it was? What situation was I in when I drank it last time? What had I done in the day? How was I feeling? What sort of weather was it? What was it like? You go through all these little bits and bobs that are really exciting. And every time I've tried it in every situation, it's superb. It's absolutely superb.
It's been a good, solid porter.
I definitely even encourage those people that don't normally like a dark beer, give it a go, because it's not overly, it's not overly thick, it's not overly bitter. It's
great introduction to the dark beer world.
A great introduction to the dark beer world in every sense of the word. It has really a huge amount going for it as far as I'm concerned. I'm huge fan.
I refuse to rate it until I'm at least at the halfway point, because as you know, with porters, it's sort of like you have the first half of the glass and it tastes one way, and then generally the second half of the glass, it kind of gets to that temperature where special things start to happen. So I'm going to see if it has that same magic in the halfway point.
I think, and again, everyone's different. But to have it slightly chilled,
yeah,
I think it's important. But more sort of cellar temperature, you don't want to, have it really, really cold, because then you lose a lot of the sort of middle section of it. But cellar temperature, and it just keeps on coming. It just keeps on coming. It's lovely, but light, but just so light, not overpowering. It's great.
Yeah.
But I do.
And I feel like in a way you've done me an injustice, because this is my first introduction to Glen and Nightlife's beer,
sure.
which pretty much means, I mean, the bar's got to go up from this point, and I don't know what he can do in this area above the bar right now. I'm very, very willing to find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bar is set very high. The logo that he has at the moment, I'm a huge hip hop fan, and it just screams 90s hip hop to me.
Really?
Which makes me think, I mean, maybe he's not, maybe he's into country, but I just feel like I feel like I know a lot about Glenn. I think even though I've never met him, I don't know anything about him. I reckon he's a hip hop head at heart, into craft beer. I feel like I've found my spirit animal brewer in some kind of way or another. So I'm really looking forward to going on this journey of nightlife, and I'm glad that you discovered him and shared this kind of local secret.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I can say, I mean, I've only had a few of his beers, but what I can say is that they're all. He doesn't do anything that's standard. There's no sort of middle of the road. He's not just brewing beer to brew beer. Everything he's done has been unique, interesting. You remember it,
Right.
and for all the right reasons. Yeah, I think we get sort of bombarded a lot of times by pale hoppy session for 5.5%. This pale session up to these lower gravity IPAs, and you can almost become a little bit jaded by the wave of them on the market at the moment.
Yeah,
He's
totally agree
not
with that. Yeah,
absolutely, and he's just what I love about it is he's not like pandered to this market at all. He doesn't produce a beer which is like it's a 4% pale and it bosh and you have it and it's instantly piled in with the other 150 that you can find on the supermarket shelves at the moment.
yeah.
It's that he wants to make a beer that I'm guessing that he really likes to drink, and
Yeah. If it's something that's interesting to him, I guess that's where I really respect that. I think with anybody that's putting together any kind of art, and let's face it, brewing craft beer is an art, and I think any type of art, you have to make it for yourself first and foremost, and then share it with the world. And once you share it with the world, it's out of your hands, and it's whatever they interpret it as. But hopefully you like it enough that some other people will like it enough. And I think, that really comes through in this. It's, being a fan of porters, I don't taste many porters that are like this, because you have these kind of waves of fashions and fads where the bigger breweries, or even, to be fair, a lot of the corporations that are making porters in the supermarkets and in the pubs, they're following a certain trend. So whether that's salted caramel or marshmallow, and as I said before, there are those types of beers which are complex and balanced and are very well done.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very hard to get a kind of, chocolate pudding porter, but really it's just a very good, solid porter with no frills, but incredibly well done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And when I scored it at 4.5, I guess I was very much in the mind frame of, is it a chocolate pudding porter? And you cannot. There's going to be people out there who don't like porters. There's going to be people out there who don't like dull beers, and that's absolutely.
I thought you were about to say there's going to be people that don't like chocolate, and I was going to disagree with you very hard then. But
comment if you're a chocolate hater.
Yeah,
Zero responses. Legitimately.
Yeah. If you don't like chocolate, put it in the comments. We'll block you immediately.
No, I mean, who doesn't like chocolate? I think the people who don't like chocolate are the people who claim to not like cheese as well. I mean, everybody likes cheese. There's people who are allergic to cheese. I get that. I get the lactose intolerance. I get all that. But
I suppose that would translate to chocolate.
But really, even if someone like me, right, I'd always go for your savoury snack over your sweet snack.
Yeah.
Oh, I can have a square of chocolate and really enjoy it still, really appreciate it, like love it. Not always my go-to, but really, really appreciate it. And in the same way,
sure.
Probably would say with beer, if I had a whole board full of beers, I would generally tend towards those IPAs, those 5% pale, ask for me, big camera. That would be my go-to. But
yeah,
Absolutely superb. So I really hope that even those people out there who are pale ale drinkers would approach a beer like this and think, what does it say it should be? What does it say it should be? And you get all of those elements from it. I personally get all those elements. You get chocolate, you get pudding, and it's a really, really good porter. What possible problem could you have with it?
Now that we're at the halfway point, this surprises me every time, and I don't know why, because I know it's a magic rule. You get halfway through, and it changes, right? I mean, would you agree? Halfway through a porter, halfway through the glass, there's some magic that happens. The chocolate becomes stronger. The kind of sweetness comes through a little bit more. All the flavors become a little bit more complex. Everything kind of chills out as the beer starts to warm up. And this is no different. I mean, it's definitely become a little bit more chocolate forward, a little bit more sort of pudding forward. And I'm getting a lot more of that now, but it's still not like sickly. It's just amazing. It's so well balanced. I mean, 4.5, solid 4.5. Pepe agrees.
Does anyone else a dog? I'll throw in.
Yeah. A can of nightlife and a dog.
I'm just thinking if I've got any left now. I'll throw in something.
Yeah. Throw in
dog.
Don't throw in a nightlife. Come on. I mean, yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Keep
probably
that
by the
for
weekend.
us.
Probably by the weekend, these have all gone. It's Monday, by the way. But if you do see this bad boy, grab it, drink it, enjoy it. Or if you don't enjoy it, write why you don't enjoy it. And then everybody's happy. And everyone's a winner. On that note.
Thank you for the introduction. Glenn, you're amazing. Cheers.
Brother.
Cheers, brother.
There are some customs that are very enjoyable.
Let's not get all riled up about this.
An occasional drink never hurt anyone.
Come on, fill up.
A drink in the evening is just about the best thing I know of.
So with that being said,
Cheers, brother.